Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. In today's video, we will be reviewing and explaining how to obtain the Platinum Trophy for Hogwarts Legacy. To change things up from the last video, I will be giving the 2 review scores right away. For those who don't know, the first part of the video is a review of the general game. Like, is the story good? Is the gameplay fun? You know, all those important things that will make a good game. The second review is the Platinum Trophy review. How fun is getting the Platinum Trophy? The reason I separate these 2 reviews is because some games are fun to play and are worth your time, even if you don't care about the Platinum. And some games have such difficult and time-consuming trophies that changes the whole vibe of the game. Some games are awesome, but make you do the grindiest things in order to Platinum them, and are just not worth it. So for Hogwarts Legacy, I am giving this game a solid 9 out of 10 for people who don't care about trophies. I recommend this game to everyone who is a Harry Potter fan, of course, and even if you are not, do not skip this game. If you are going for the Platinum, I will give this around a good 8 out of 10. It will take you roughly 60 to 80 hours to finish. There are some grindy parts, but nothing too annoying if you know what you're doing. The biggest part of the grind is collecting everything in the game, but almost everything can be tracked. So for those who want to hear me ramble into more depth about my review scores, the rest of the video will be for you. If you were here for some trophy tips, skip to here for some things I wish I would have known sooner. Main review. So let's summarize the story. There will be spoilers. The game is set in the late 1800s. Yes, this is before the Harry Potter movies. We start the game off with us getting our invitation to Hogwarts. But the catch is that we received our letter very late, and we are starting off as a 5th year, because of which we are being chaperoned by Professor Fig, a current professor from Hogwarts. Upon traveling to Hogwarts, we get attacked by a dragon and, well, shit happens, and we are ported to a mysterious island.
How far did that portkey take us?
The story continues with us learning that we are able to see and probably yield ancient magic. As we continue, we are attacked by a group of goblins led by Ranrock. This is the main bad guy of the game. Ranrock is the leader of what he calls the Goblin Rebellion, and under him are his loyalists. Through the use of ancient magic, we are able to escape the battle and show up at Hogwarts. This is where you meet the Sorting Hat and get to choose which house you will be in. This is a choice that you, the player, gets to make, and there is no advantage by choosing one or the other. Now, if you're hardcore like me, well, you would have lying around a actual real-life Sorting Hat. So hell yeah, we are going with what I would have been really sorted in, so Slytherin it is. It is here where we will meet Headmaster Black and Professor Weasley, 2 important characters into the story. More on Professor Weasley, less on Headmaster Black. Headmaster Black is a big-ass coward in my opinion, and super weird and full of himself. Professor Weasley is the teacher of Transfiguration and is the deputy head mistress. She helps us a lot in this game, and is like the sweet little grandma you always wish you had. She looks like she does a lot of baking. After the sorting ceremony, she will give us the field guide, a tool given to us to help us catch up to the other students, since we are starting as a 5th year. But in gaming terms, this is just your checklist. To get the Platinum, you will need to complete this to about 100%, so get used to using this thing. At Hogwarts Castle is here where you will take all of your classes in order to learn new spells and meet different students and teachers. This is also a giant quest hub area, so you'll have lots to do here. This place is littered with puzzles to be solved and collectibles to be collected. And I really mean this, there are a lot of collectibles here, one of which is the field guide pages. For example, at this point, you should have learned a spell called Revelio, a spell that reveals hidden collectibles in the area and highlights them also if there is a field guide page in the area. You will hear this sort of ding. So if you're close by, you will hear this. Be ready to hear yourself spam Revelio for what feels like the majority of the game. Like I said, there are a lot of collectibles everywhere, and you need to get as many as you can, as this also gives you experience to level up your character. The quests that I try to do as soon as possible are the teacher quests, or the extra assignments that they give you in the game. So let's talk about the teachers a little bit. For the teachers, there is Professor Sharp, who looks a lot like Professor Snape. He isn't so much of an asshole.
Pity. Clearly, fame isn't everything.
This guy used to be an Aurora, and he is pretty cool. My favorite and, well, fan favorite teacher is definitely Professor Garlic. I mean, just look at her. And it also helps that she is so sweet too. The reason why I choose to prioritize the teacher quests so much is that they give you new spells that you could use for puzzles in the Hogwarts castle. So unlocking them early on is very important if you want to collect everything. You won't just be at Hogwarts, you will also be going to a town called Hogsmeade, a little town close to Hogwarts which serves as a commercial hub. There are tons of shops here and secrets here too, as there is in Hogwarts. I would also like to point out that this area is just so cool to chill in. The music will stick in your head and it is so catchy and iconic, and the streets are pretty lively too. There are a bunch of random interactions, like just take a look at this one.
Hand them back.
Hand what back, sir? But we've not took a thing.
Hand them back.
There is also the open world part of the game. This is the map, and yes, it is friggin' huge and filled to the brim with collectibles. As you can see, there are these little hamlets slash villages that are scattered all over the world. These places always have collectibles, so you're going to be going to every single one of them. The open world part of the game, so basically outside of Hogwarts and outside of Hogsmeade, is where you will be spending most of the time in your endgame trying to figure out and complete different things. So when you see something that's collectible, pick it up. And again, you will be spamming Revelio even when you get your broom later on. As you complete the main quests of the game, you will meet up with two important characters, Natsai One
Hello, I am Nettie. So
and Sebastian Salo.
I think you'll need to tell me why Victor Rookwood has you in his sights.
These two characters are basically your best friends in the game, and as cliche as it sounds, together you make a little trio like in the Harry Potter movies. But unfortunately, these characters never really talk to each other, as their quest lines have nothing to do with each other. So Sebastian, who is a Slytherin, his storyline is all about trying to save his sister Anne from a mysterious curse.
When will you accept that?
Never! I can never accept it.
Natsai, on the other hand, who is a Gryffindor, and she's also an animagus. For those who don't know, it is a person who could turn into an animal, and she could turn into a gazelle. Her story is that she wants to stop a villain named Harlow, an Ashwinder, which is basically a group of dark wizards. More of that later. These two characters have a lot of tie-ins into the main story, so I wanted to mention it here. As you complete classes and go through the main quests, you will be led to a room called the Map Chamber. This map chamber has 4 portraits, in which only one portrait owner is present, Professor Percival Rackham. You see these 4 figures who were teased at the beginning of the game, were teachers from Hogwarts many years ago, who also were able to see ancient magic, and they hold a secret.
I must say I'm curious to hear of Isidore's travels.
We are tasked with completing their trials in order for us to uncover more of the past and more of the story. This is the main story of the game. Now, I could go on for a very long time about the story because it is pretty long and it is very good. So here is a bullet point of the story as quickly as I can throw it out to you guys. After completing all the trials and doing quests to find out what Ranrock wants to do with all the ancient magic. By the way, talking about the trials, the 3rd trial is the coolest. This is a shout out to it. When you guys get there, you'll know what I mean. We learn that Hogwarts holds a repository that holds ancient magic. This ancient magic was gathered by a former teacher called Isidore Monarch, who was able to extract ancient magic from people's emotions and store them into a repository. Ranrock learns about this and is trying to find it and use it in order to start a war between goblins and wizard kind. After you learn where in Hogwarts the repository is kept, we try and stop Ranrock before it's too late. The game ends with us attacking Ranrock and his followers with the help of the teachers, and us, the main hero, coming to a standoff with Ranrock himself. The final battle with Ranrock turns Ranrock into a giant dragon, and through plot armor, we overcome the obstacle and save the day. All time for us to take our owls and finish our school year. That is basically a shitty, fast summary of the game. There is way more to the story than that, but I don't want to say everything, but here you go. Gameplay. We haven't even talked about gameplay and the loop of the game. So let's get into that. In this game, you will be doing, well, the main quests, the side quests, collecting everything in the world, and there is a lot to do. You will have a large list of quests to do with each their own rewards. The most important ones being the ones that teach us new spells and of course the main quest. Almost every spell you could learn can be used in combat. This game is a lot like the Batman Arkham games, where you will have to be reactive to dodge rolling and counter moves. You have a basic attack that does damage and it can be spammed. This is a filler attack, but the spells you learn throughout the game, through the classes, are the main ones here. Like Confringo, that is a projectile that lights someone on fire.
Confringo!
How is this not a forbidden spell is beyond me. And Defendo, a slashing spell that cuts enemies. Again, how is this spell legal? It cuts people open. These are the offensive spells in the game. They are categorized as red spells or attack spells. You will also have yellow spells, which are categorized as control spells, like Glacius, a spell that freezes enemies, and Levioso, a spell that suspends them in the air. There are also force spells, which are purple, like Accio, a spell that brings an enemy or objects towards you, or Depulso, one that does the opposite, it pushes things away. As you fight enemies, you will use these spells, but they do have a cooldown, so keep that in mind. You will also need to be aware that some enemies have shields that are color-coded. And you guessed it, by using the right colored spell, you can break the shield and deal damage. You can also use plants to fight, like throwing chopping cabbages. These little things basically go around and bite people's asses all day. And the Mandrake, which is great for an area and effect stun. You basically pull out of the pot, it yells, everyone's stunned. It's awesome. When I played, I tried to mostly focus on herbology stuff, because commanding an army of ass-biting cabbages and getting in the good books of, well, you know who, has always been a priority for me in this game. You could also use potions to heal and even increase your damage, prevent damage, and even call in a thunderstorm around the main character, which literally makes you feel like a god. I like to combine the thunderstorm potion and then throw out a bunch of chopping cabbages and other plants, and everything dies and I don't do anything. The combat flows very well here and is very fun. You can also use stealth, and by getting close to the enemy, you will have the ability to use Petrificus Totalis. Basically, it's a one-shot kill spell, so this is pretty good. And you could even use dark magic like Crucio, which stuns a target and leaves a damage over time, basically a poison on them. And you could even learn later on Avada Kedavra to one-shot kill anything in the game. And yes, this one shot kills everything in the game, and so far this basically works on everything. Maybe some story fights it doesn't work on, but so far it's been working on everything. And what's cool about the dark arts is that they are categorized as green. Now there are no green shields, but these spells pierce any colored shield, so you could kind of just turn off your brain here. It is also worth to note, and a very big important part of the game, is that during combat you will also fill up a meter called the Ancient Magic Meter. When it reaches a certain threshold, you can do these crazy attacks that only you can do, like summon a lightning strike from the sky, or turn a spider very, very small and stomp on him. There are also some really good animations here. With all of those combos and spells combined, by the time you reach the end game, you'll be so freaking strong that you will be able to obliterate screens of enemies instantly. Where was our character during the war in Hogwarts? That would have been an easy win. So we mentioned very briefly about potions and herbology. These are, well, consumables. So how do we get them? Well, you could just go to Hogsmeade, the commercial hub, the place where there's a bunch of shops, and just buy them.
Plenty of ingredients to pique your interest, I'd wager.
Or you can purchase the recipes instead, then craft them yourself for no fee. You have to buy the recipes, but once you have the recipe, you could just craft it whenever you want. Because after a certain point in the game, Professor Weasley will introduce you to a house elf named Deke. Deke is tasked in helping us manage our room of requirement. This room is very important, and you will be coming here very often. First, it starts off as one room, but as you get further into the game, you get more and more space to play with. It is here where we will be placing potion stations and potting tables. You see, at the start of the game, you will be spending a lot of your money on room recipes, planting seeds, and potion recipes. With this unlocked, you are able to craft what you want for free. So if using potions or getting on the good side of you-know-who is important to you,
Well, he never cared.
then you'll be coming back here a lot to make sure you're always stocked up. Later on, the room of requirement will also be able to hold magical creatures that you can save in the wilderness. You could bring them to a vivarium. You could pet, feed them, and play, and gather materials for crafting. More on that later. As you play the game, you will be able to customize your character with a talent tree. There are some very powerful choices in this talent tree, and some you would really want to unlock before others. Luckily for us, you will be able to respec your talents whenever you want. There isn't too much customization here, as when you reach the end game, you'll have just about everything you would really want, and it is appreciated that we have talent trees. It makes it more fun, but I just wish that if there were to be a sequel to this game, that we would have a little bit more here. And we also need to talk about gear. First things first, the outfits in this game look absolutely amazing, and they play an important role in making your character look badass. There are so many different types of clothing combinations, and this is really appreciated. Now, what I don't like is how boring the gearing system is towards the end of the game. Hear me out. After a certain point, there is way too much gear that just accumulates. Literally, every single chest that you pick up feels like it always has some shitty scarf or some shitty hat. Whereas the end game, it doesn't take much for your inventory to fill up and get maxed out and having to go back to the shop just to sell the items. One by one, by the way. You can't just like sell all junk in this list. As far as I've known, you gotta sell them one by one. You gotta hold the button. It takes too long for no reason. Anyways, towards the end game, finding upgrades is just impossible. And the reason why I think that is because of the crafting system and the transmog system. Now, hear me out. Transmog is awesome. So in the game, you can make any piece of gear look like whatever you want. Perfect. I like this because if something is strong but looks bad, I am not stuck looking like a total goofball. Now remember, when I mentioned those materials that you obtained by interacting with your magical beast in the vivarium, which is the room of requirement, these materials are used at the loom. Here, you can upgrade the stats on your gear. You choose what piece of equipment to upgrade, and if you got the materials for it, you could increase its stats. Which there are only two stats, by the way, offense and defense. There's not much variety in the stats here. Also, you can see here, on certain items, there are perks allocated to them. The better the rarity of the item, the higher the perk tier can be. Some of these perks are super powerful, and they really boost up your playstyle that you want to choose, which is great. The problem is that you can change these perks to whatever you want. So at a certain point in the game, gear is pretty much useless because you upgraded the stats to the max, you chose the best perk anyways, and you transmogged it to whatever you want it to look like. So gear at the end is basically just always going to be lower statted, and it's not going to have the perks you want because you already get to choose them. And you get to have the style, so you're not hunting clothing anymore at a certain point. So gear to me becomes very boring because everything you get isn't unique enough. Enough about gear. It's just one little gripe in the game that I have to mention, but we can move on from that. On a positive note, I want to talk about the music here. And wow, is it ever good. The music really captures the essence of the game so damn well. From the battle music, the Hogwarts themes, and especially Hogsmeade. This game's music is so special and immersive, and in my opinion, music is so important in video games. To me, it is the most important thing. And this thus concludes the review of the general game. This is why I gave it a 9 out of 10. Now, I did complain about some of the gearing stuff, but this game isn't really about the stats and the stuff. It's about being immersed into the game, and that's what's so important. Because this game does what it's supposed to do and capture the essence of the wizarding world. The story is very good, and the combat is so fluid and fun. Exploring is magical, but the customization could do some work in my opinion. But like I said, it's not that kind of game. It's about trying to feel like you're in a Harry Potter game, and it does that so damn well. Here are some tips and tricks and things I wish I would have known before I started playing this game. First things first, one of the trophies makes you use ancient magic on every single enemy in the game. That is not a boss enemy. It has to be a regular enemy you could find anytime. So those knights in the trials, those guys don't count because you can't go back and fight them. This challenge is very annoying because the game does not track which ones you have used ancient magic on. So here I will leave a reference, and please check the description of the video. There's a bunch of these references. I will talk about this a little bit more in detail, but keep a little list on the side and it's going to help you a lot. Another feature that I missed until the very end, and I can't believe I missed this, I feel like an idiot, is that you could zoom out of the map. Yeah, no shit. You could do that in any game. But there is just something weird about this mechanic on controller. It's like when you zoom all the way out, you need to like double click it or something or hit it again for it to like keep expanding outwards. But anyways, if you keep zooming out, the game will separate the locations on the open world map into clusters. This is where you can see what you are missing in each cluster. Please use this. Do not do like what I did and travel all across the world, spamming Revelio every 5 seconds, hoping to find something and not knowing which cluster it is in. Now, there is one really important collectible in the game that kind of stressed me out, but I found them all before I knew this was going to be a problem. The game does not track the butterfly encounters to my knowledge. So in order to help you guys from having a headache later on, if you see the butterfly symbol, do this side objective first. I do believe it is first unlocked through the quest in Hogsmeade that makes you do this for the first time. The reason why this is so important is because it gives you a collection chest. And the thing about these collection chests is that these specific ones contain furniture. The problem is that the contents in the furniture chests are completely randomized. So from one playthrough to another, you could get a chair in one, you could get a bed in the other, and it'll never be in the same spot. So you cannot track these down through Google. It is impossible since they are randomized. And if you're missing a collection chest and you don't know where to track it, you are screwed. So do the butterflies before it's too late. An opposite example of this are the little field guide pages that are like scattered across the world. If you're missing one, just look at a guide and see what one you are missing in your collections list, like I'm showing you guys over here. Keep knocking them off and find which one you're missing, and you could track it down, guys. It's not that hard. And for the last tip, and this one I really wish I would have known sooner, is make sure that when you are in combat, you do these stupid little side objectives that pop up on the side of the screen here. Because in the collections list, there is challenges, and one of the challenges is to do like a shit ton of these. And if you save this to the end, you're gonna hate yourself, I can tell you that right now. So let's start naming off the trophies. I will not go over anything that is story related because you can never ever miss these. Okay? These are not your main focus. You're obviously going to finish the story. Your main focus is going to be collecting everything in the game. I recommend that you collect as much as you can early on so that later the cleanup will be faster. There are 3 trophies in this game that really suck. And it's the trophies that make you restart the game 3 times and make 3 new playthroughs with 3 new different houses. Because in the game, the first time you enter the map chamber, you need to do this like questline with Jackdaw. And every single house has their own specific special quest. Shout out to Hufflepuff that goes to Azkaban here. This is amazing. I'm happy this is in the game, but I'm also sad that we don't get to explore more of it. So let's get the side quests out of the way because you're probably going to be doing these anyways because you want to complete all the quests. And the side quests, well, it's not part of the main quest, so let's talk about them. So to start off, you'll have to do Deke's storyline. And his is all about rescuing magical beasts, specifically rare ones.
Look at this. It's amazing.
And putting them in your vivarium. There are 3 quests here, ending with you saving a phoenix. By doing this whole quest line, you will get the trophy Rising from the Ashes. Second, complete Nansai Onai's quest line. Like the previous entry, just do all the quests here. There are 7 in total, and it's pretty interesting. You will need to complete all of them in order for you to achieve the Avenging Gazelle trophy. Third, complete Sebastian Salo's questline. Here there are 9 trophies, and this is probably one of the cooler questlines in the game. These side quests are very important for Sebastian. Do them early because it does teach you dark arts, and I am not joking. I know it's forbidden, but Avada Kedavra just makes everything so much easier, okay? Especially when you can AoE clear everything. Completing these 9 quests will net you a Salo Grave trophy. Next, we've got complete Poppy Sweeting's questline. So I haven't talked about this character until this point because, well, her storyline doesn't really go into the main quest from what I remember, but that does not change the fact that she is probably one of my favorite characters in the whole game. She is a sweetheart, she is an airhead, and all she wants to do is save magical creatures, and she is awesome. And it also helps that her questline is probably one of the coolest cinematic questlines in the whole game. There are some crazy, most beautiful cutscenes in this side quest, putting some of the main quest stuff to shame. This is so much fun, and even if you're not going for the trophies, just do this questline. It's so good. By completing this questline, you will net yourself another trophy, Beast Friends. Next up, you will need to do all the broom flying racecourse side quest things in the game. You'll be going up against this Slytherin girl named Imelda. She is super annoying, super full of herself, but these quests are really worth doing early on if you can, because you'll be in cahoots with the shopkeeper from Hogsmeade named Albie Weeks, the owner of the broom shop in Hogsmeade. And by doing these quests, you'll upgrade your broom to go faster and faster. So these are very important if you want to go around and collecting everything in the world. Do this as quickly as you can to get the Good Flight trophy. Next up, for doing everything above, you will have the quest called Complete All Side Quests. You need to do every single side quest in the game. This is self-explanatory, and I even debated if I should put this here. It's called the Good Samaritan trophy. You should get this. Be a good Samaritan. Okay, with questing out of the way, here are some automatic trophies in the game. So basically ones that will just unlock themselves by going through the other chase trophies. I was reluctant in putting this in the list, but since this is just my second video, I decided to put it here because I don't know how long this video is going to be. Firstly, reach level 40. By doing all the challenges, collecting everything in the game, you will for sure earn a Forte for Achievement trophy. Number 2 and 3, spend all your talent points. Once you reach level 40, just spend all your talent points and you got the trophy, a Savvy Spender. Learn all spells in the game. Again, this is gonna pretty much happen automatic because if you did all the side quests, you can't miss this one. Why is it here? I don't know, it's just called the Spellmaster trophy, so here you go. Now for the 5th one, follow the butterflies. This trophy will be unlocked by completing a side quest. Doing so will net you the butterfly trophy. And just a side note, this is important because you want to do this so that we could unlock the butterfly encounters in the wild. I think this unlocks it. It would make sense if it did. 4th, discover all Cairn dungeons in the game. All these dungeons will pretty much be discovered passively by doing all the side quests, netting you the Coasting Along trophy. Now let's talk about miscellaneous trophies. These are trophies that you will need to be aware of, but can be completed super easily and quickly without tracking anything. You just need to know they exist. First, we got upgrade a piece of gear 3 times at a loom. This is super easy, but you need to be aware that it even exists. With Magical Menagerie and collecting your magical beast materials, this won't be a problem. Completing this task will net you the 3rd times a charm trophy. Second, reach the highest point in Hogwarts. So for this trophy, you must complete the fantastic main quest line where you take a Polyjuice potion and become Headmaster Black. If you're anyone like me, this is like one of the funniest, this is the funniest quest in the whole game. You are Professor Black and there's so many funny interactions here, so enjoy it while it lasts.
If you must speak with me, consult my secretaries or what have you. Now,
once that quest is complete, it'll bring you through like the headmaster's office. Once you go there the first time, once the quest is done, you could go back to that area because it is unlocked now. And with the Alohomora spell level 3, you are able to unlock a door which will take you to the highest point of the castle, netting you the room with a view trophy. Thirdly, use Flipendo 10 times on a cow. So for you sick fucks out there that unlock this trophy on your own without even looking up a guide, you're gonna have to use Flipendo 10 times on a cute Highland cow. So yeah, best not tell Poppy you have the spilled milk trophy. Grow every type of plant in the game. This one is very easy, especially for me since I wanted to go with herbology for X reasons. Collect all the seeds from Hogsmeade and plant them all at least once in your room of requirement to get the Put Down the Roots trophy. Brew every type of potion in the game. This is the same thing as the previous entry, but it's the potion side of it. So from Hogsmeade, get all the potion recipes and brew them all at least once to get the trophy called Going Through the Potions. Number 6. Completing all tiers of a challenge. In the field guide, there are many different challenges to obtain. Well, you will have to complete a whole track in order to get this one. By the way, you need to do them all anyways, so this is gonna happen pretty much automatic. So doing this will net you the Challenge Accepted trophy. Now for the chase trophies. These are trophies that you need to be put aware of, but it'll take a little bit more time than just like flipping over 10 cows, you know? Collect all the demiguise statues. So the demiguise statues is a side quest in the game. By doing this quest line, you will unlock the spell called Alohomora, the spell on how to unlock those little pesky locks around the world. You will need to collect all these little suckers, and they can only be targetable at night. So change the day and keep it nighttime at all times, and you will probably get this trophy. Remember that you can zoom all the way out in the overworld to track everything, and make sure you check all those little hamlets because they can only show up there, I believe. You're gonna have the hamlets, Hogsmeade, and Hogwarts to check. I will leave a reference in case you're missing something again, so check the description. After you catch them all, you will unlock the Demiguise Dread trophy. Second, use Petrificus Totalis on a total of 50 enemies. This is super easy. You'll probably be getting this on your own because sneaking is fun. This can only be done by casting the Disillusionment spell and casting Stealth. By getting close to an enemy, a button prompt will show up. Or if you're me, you're just going to keep spamming the button until it happens, earning you the Ends Petrify the Means trophy. Defeat enemies in all the combat arenas. There are 2 combat arenas to complete in the game. Complete the 2 battle arenas to net you the Rise of the Challenge trophies. Complete all of the Merlin trials. This one is very annoying and was a problem for me. There are a lot of them. You see, when I was playing the game, I did not know that I could zoom all the way out, as I mentioned before, and see which zone had what left. I would also like to point out that there are a couple bugs with this. Like, I have this footage here of me trying to find the last Merlin trial. I used a interactive map, as I will leave in the description below, and I had to get right up the ass of this Merlin trial for it to pop up. So even by casting Revelio, it just wouldn't show up. I don't know how I would have found this on my own, but yeah, this one could be a little bit buggy at times. It is what it is. Doing this will net you Merlin's Beard trophy. Reach a combo of at least 100. This can be done at any point of the game, but you need to be aware that it exists so you know it exists. If you struggle to get this passively, then try to achieve it in the battle arenas, as there are lots of monsters here for you to fight, giving you the chance of getting the Raised Expectations trophy. Use Ancient Magic on every enemy type of the game. This one is one of the most annoying chase trophies that you're going to be going after, because it doesn't track it. So find yourself a list online of all the enemy types and check them off as you go. If I could give you guys any tips in this, is when you fight the Animagus wizards, it's the purple ones, the ones that could turn into a hound dog at a certain point, you need to use the Ancient Magic on these 2 forms as they are saved as 2 different entries. So keep that in mind. So it's 1 for the wizard and 1 for the dog form. For me, and from what I could tell online, what the majority of what people are missing is just the normal mongrel. That was always usually the last one for many people. After all that is done, you will get the Finishing Touches trophy. Unlock all Flue Flames. These are the little fast travel points in the game. You need to collect them all in order to achieve this trophy. It's easy, but there's quite a bit to collect here, so collecting them all will net you the Flew Around the World trophy. Put your Pokemon skills together and get ready to breed every possible magic beast with the best IVs and EVs in the game. For this one, you will need to find a male and female beast of every type, and then breed them once. You will unlock the ability to do so. There's a quest with Deke that will let you do this. Keep in mind that the Phoenix cannot be breeded, as it is the only one of its kind. And for the Graphorn, yes, you can breed the Graphorn. You will have to return to the coast where you found it originally during the super awesome part of the main quest, and keep resetting the monster until you get the right sex and breed the Graphorn. Once you breeded your ultimate party of 6, and you get to see the cuter versions of these beasts, you will get the Nature of the Beast trophies. Stun 10 different enemies with the Mandrake. Now, I got confused here, to be honest. I thought it was 10 enemies at the same time, but that's not it. You need to stun 10 different enemy types throughout your playthrough. So just use this in a battle arena if you're missing it, and eventually you're going to have the Root of the Problem trophy. Completing the collections. This is the big one of the game. This is the make or break it. You will need to collect everything in the goddamn game. Use the previous tricks that I have mentioned before, like the zoom out feature and all that, and you should be okay. You will need to do all the challenges, collect all the field guides everywhere in the world, and everything you can think of is in this collections list. If you get lost, Google is your best friend. There's interactive maps. There's a bunch of help online. Just go get help. I will give one shout out here to the collection chests in the vivarium, the menagerie area where you have your Pokemon. Each of the sections each have their own collections chest that is hidden in the game, and for my knowledge cannot be tracked. So go and get them. Also, as previously stated, be careful with the butterfly missions, because as far as I can tell, you can't track them either. And there are some bugs here and there, so hopefully you don't get a bug where you were supposed to collect something and it just didn't work. I did not have the experience of experiencing this, so I got lucky, and hopefully you will too. Collect everything in the game to get the longest trophy in the game, called the Collector's Edition, for the final trophies of the game. The ones that I chose to be the final trophy for my list. Make 3 new playthroughs to get to the map chamber with all the 3 different houses. Now this sucks because you gotta play through the game 3 more times. You could skip cutscenes, you could skip everything. Make the game the easiest as you can by choosing the easiest difficulty and just rush through the main quest line. Again, shout out to the Hufflepuff quest line for the Azkaban part. And just so you know, it should take about 2 hours to complete each one if you like hyper focus. The last house that I had to do was the Gryffindor trophy. So that was the last one, netting me the Hogwarts Legacy Platinum trophy, and hopefully you will too. And there you have it, the completion of the game. But yeah, this game is just so much fun, and it really, really captures the essence of Harry Potter. The trophy list isn't too crazy. There's worse things out there, but it can be scary because there are rumored bugs out there that fuck up your collections list. So you need to be aware of. Most of them have been patched out, but it's still always a fear at the back of your mind. My least favorite part of the trophy list was getting the 3 other playthroughs, but it wasn't so bad. It was only 2 hours long. So thank you guys for watching. If you got to this point of the video, give a like and subscription. You're already here. And see you guys in the next video.